Okay, guys, welcome to day 3 of boot camp. My name is Monica Perry. I'm your Market Center Tech Trainer. And today we're going to go over our Keller Williams websites and the mobile app. So we're going to focus more on the website at the beginning of the class, and that's going to take us to break. And then we'll break, come back, explore the app a little bit, and then we'll answer questions. So as always along the way, if you have any questions, this is your time. So make sure that you are asking those questions. We'll keep up with the chat. Let me try to move your pretty faces that way and move my chat here so I can see it. All right, good deal. So the first thing we're going to do is go to our agent website, and we are going to look at what powers all of that information. So my website is monicaperry.kw.com. And I'm going to show you where you can find your website here in just a second. If you don't know what the link is, let me log out there. Okay, so here is my website. And you can see as I scrolled through, here's my picture. I created a fake team. Here's my little team logo, all of my information, my phone number, my email address. Further down is my office information and my office license number, my license number, and any titles or designations I might have, links to all of my social. And then down here at the bottom, this is called my legal footer. So you can see that I have mine saying each office is independently owned and operated, because we are. And then I added the verbiage, working with real estate agents is a form that North Carolina Real Estate Commission has created to inform the general public about the expectations of roles and services with real estate brokers and firms play in real estate transaction. Okay. And then I linked the working with real estate agents brochure on the bottom of my website. You don't have to do this. And North Carolina Real Estate Commission states that at first meet, we're supposed to be putting this in the hands of anybody who's interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate, whether they're going to work with us or not. So this is just yet another way that I put this out to the public so that I know that I'm doing what I want to. And down here, these little tiny pictures. I'm hoping we get some more customization here. But like I told you guys on Monday, when KW built this platform, we went really wide, right? Because we wanted to get everything built. And you guys have seen so far how much is actually in this system. And we've not made it down the list very far, right? We've only gone through contacts and smart plans and opportunities. There's a whole lot more besides that there. So what I'm hoping is these websites will get more customization. For right now, there's a little bit of customization, not a ton. Just remember, this is still the first version of this website, right? So like on our app, for example, the command app, we're already on version 4 because that was more important to them to develop. So now that we're going deeper with our technology, hopefully we're going to get some more customization on these. But I'm going to show you guys what you can do. And you can also add pages.
Hey, Monica.
Yeah, go ahead, Gabby.
I have a quick question. So Scott is, I'm still working with Scott on getting everything set up. So thanks for your help with that. But everything you just pointed out, does he set that up?
So that's a great segue, Gabby, because what Scott is going to set up for you, you're going to have your website. It's going to be fully searchable. If you sent him a headshot, your headshot's going to be there, right? The more information you gave Scott in your questionnaire, the more of the information he was able to put on your website. And the handful of things that he will add is this About Me page. It looks like this. Unless you gave Scott a biography, this will just be a generic biography.
Okay.
Right? And you can go in and edit it, and we will look at where you can edit that today. Okay. He will also add this page that looks like this. I've, of course, edited mine, so it should say something to the effect of your name, and then it will have some just generic verbiage here, and then you can go through and edit that. I've just already edited mine to my liking, right? And then last but certainly not least, he will have given you a download my app page. So it will look like this, and they can download your KW app. And so all of these other pages I have added, right? So the last month that I taught this, and I should have checked on this today, this is a third-party site that I've added to my website. Last month, this was not working. So we will check today to see if it currently is working to add third-party sites. But I also added a testimonials page. This is working, right? So you have to add a testimonials capture page first. Please leave me a review, right? Thanks for being, mine says, thanks for being a trusted partner at Keller Williams, because I want reviews from you guys, not consumers. Your verbiage will be a little bit different, but we have to create this page first, get at least one testimonial in here. And if you haven't had a sale yet, get somebody else to send you some kind of a review, like that you help them navigate the world of real estate or something to get it going, right? And then once you have one, then you can add the page for where the testimonials will show up. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that too. This is another third-party site that I added. If you're from Winston-Salem or you've been here for a while, you may have heard of Smitty's Notes. He talks about things in the area. So this is just another third-party site that I've added to my webpage. I created one for the Keller Williams School of Real Estate, now known as the Keller Williams Success Opportunity or something like that. Keller Successful Career Opportunities in Real Estate. They changed the name. I've got to change that now. And I added my appointment calendar here. So the same one that you guys use to schedule appointments with me. All of those third-party websites are added the same way. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this. It's a lot to take in. So just take notes, or if you're working on it alongside of me, you can do it at the same time. But just remember, you can always come back and ask questions, right? You can always come back and ask questions. The main thing, though, is this. So what I always tell people is think about it. You guys may or may not have purchased a home before. When you went to a website where you're going to be looking at things real estate related, what were you looking for? What did you want to do there? Did you go to read about the real estate agent?
No, you wanted to search for properties.
Exactly. You want to search for properties. So one of the biggest things that I get pushback from agents that have been in the business for a long time, I'm one of those agents. I've been in the business for 14 years. We have that mentality that it's about me. Me, right? And I'm allowed to say that because I'm a real estate agent. That's how we think, right? So it's like, well, my face isn't showing up. How's somebody going to know that this is me? They don't care. They just want to look for houses. So that's why it's so important to make sure that they're logged into your website, right? Because then you can see their activity. Like they can still find out about you, but you're supposed to be talking to them. So that is how they're going to find out about you. So as of today, these websites are not, what they are not is built for super strong search engine optimization. Meaning if somebody goes to Google and says homes for sale in Winston-Salem, right? No shade to anywhere else. Winston-Salem is just where I live. Okay. They're not built to make you pop up at the top of the search. They are built for you to put them in people's hands, right? To put the website in someone's hands. Because guess what? Look at what's at the top. The stuff that was paid for. Someone's paying big bucks to be up here. That's why it says add. And that's what's going to show up at the top, right? Then it's going to be something that rhymes with pillow. We all know that that's where most people go, right? And then it's going to be realtor.com and Trulia and Redfin. And let me show you something about all of these top real estate search sites. Where's all the information about somebody here? There's not, right? I must have been searching on here because it's not taking, it's taking me to the to my last search. But here's the home screen of Zillow, right? It's a big search bar. Here's the home screen of realtor.com. It's a big search bar. And if I keep going with Trulia and Compass and Redfin and all of those, they're a big search bar because that's what people are going to your website to do. Your job is to get them to your website instead of one of these other ones. Does that make sense? So that means sharing it on Facebook, sharing it on Instagram, putting it in your email signature, putting it on your business card, putting it in the hands of somebody. I'm out grocery shopping and I run into my friend from high school and we start having a conversation and she's like, yeah, I just got promoted to a principal at this elementary school. And I'm like, yeah, girl, that's so exciting, right? And then we start having conversation and she's like, yeah, and what are you doing now? And I'm like, yeah, well, I sell houses. Like I work at KW, you know, I love it. We have such a great company. I'm here. If you ever need anything, just let me know. And she's like, funny, you should ask. I actually, since I got my promotion, we were thinking like we have a little kind of smaller starter home right now. And we were thinking we want to buy a newer home. Cool. Let me send you to my website. I'm happy to go ahead and set up an account for you on there. You don't have to worry about any other real estate agent calling you, texting you, reaching out to you. You just let me know what I can do to help you, right? That's how those conversations go. And the reason I'm using that conversation is because guess what? That actually happened to me. I don't even sell houses anymore. I did, in fact, run into my friend from high school. She was, in fact, promoted to principal, and she did start searching for homes with me. And once she figured out what she wanted to do, I referred her to an agent like you guys who helped her with a new construction home, right? So that's what these websites are for, okay? And now that we have forced registration, which just happened, it's just another opportunity for you guys to reach out in a different way, right? We were reading and talking about, and you should be reading if you're not, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. What did we say on Monday? Marketing-based prospecting enhanced. Prospecting, one-to-one conversations. Marketing, scalable, reaching out to more people at one time. Less conversion, but necessary. So now that we have forced registration, I'm going to show you some ideas of stuff that you can do with your website to reach out to the general public a little bit more, okay? And capture that information. Does that make sense? All right, cool deal. So we're going to go on our path here of things that we're doing today. Marketing profile first. I showed you guys where my picture and all that kind of stuff was. We're going to go to command, right? agent.kw.com. We are going to log in with our KW credentials.
Hey, Monica.
Yeah, go ahead, Gabby.
I have another question.
Please.
With forced registration, is there also like a guest view option?
So we're going to look over forced registration. What it is you have the option that they can look at no properties before they have to register, 2 properties before they have to register, or 10 properties before they have to register, or you can have it turned off completely, which is what it had been by default.
Okay.
So the forced registration literally just happened. Like it just got released, right?
And you guys are going to determine how many properties?
You're going to determine, right?
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Your website, your business, you get to pick.
Perfect. Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
I like it.
All right. So we're in command. We're going to come into the upper right corner. We're going to go back into those settings, right? We looked at those on Monday. We were looking at connections of apps and things that we use. Okay, that's where it takes us. We're going to come over to the left-hand side to connect settings. And we are going to open up our marketing profile. Okay. If this button that says use my information to bring my agent site is turned off, if you were to go to your website, it would be generic like this, which is kw.com, which is just standard KW for the whole company. Okay. So you want to make sure that that button is lit up green and turned on, right? Or else they're going to come here. There's not going to be any branding to you, right? Make sense? So it should be turned on, but if it happens to not be, make sure it is, okay? This is where we have our headshot. So if you get a new one, like I probably need to, because I think that's like 4 or 5 years old. This is where you can upload your new headshot. It'll show up on your website. It'll show up in your app and a handful of other places, okay? If you have a team.
I have a question about
Go ahead,
that
Linda.
particular thing real quick. Sorry.
Yeah.
I have messed around in this a little bit. And when I have added some different headshots that I have on my desktop, sometimes they're like wide and they're not the right, you know, they're weird looking. So how can I make sure that it's
best thing for a website
pretty like yours?
Thank you. The best thing for anything that's a circle is going to be a square. Okay. So what I do with my headshots, and I'll show you just real quick. If I have, I don't even know where my headshot is. I'm just going to use this picture of my daddy. My daddy's picture right here is in portrait mode. Okay. If I come up and click this little edit button, it depends on your computer, right? Right now it's on free crop. I'm going to change it to square because that makes it an exact square, and I'm going to center whatever I want in the square. And then I'm just going to save a copy. So now if I were to put this picture inside of anything that is a circle, right, then it's going to fit in there and not look stretched or have the head cropped off or any of that craziness. So anytime you need to put something into a circle, make it a square. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Awesome. Good deal. Good question. Okay. So picture, team logo, if you have a team. If you don't have a team, that's okay. You don't have to upload a logo here. What I will tell you from experience is if you upload something here, you can't unupload it. So it's always going to be there. Okay. But if that happens, you're like, crap, I don't like it, whatever. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. You can just go get a square KW logo, right? I can show you that picture shows up here at the top, and it shows up down here in the corner of your headshot. So if it's just a little square KW, it'll look just fine as well. So if you accidentally upload something there and you don't like it, well, I don't know. It says remove now. So I don't know. They may have upgraded that, but I don't want to remove this because I don't want to mess anything up. I'll look at that later. Okay. So your details, should you get married? Should you get divorced? Should you need to change your name? Here's one of the places you're going to come do that. Make sure your license number is in there. If you didn't give it to Scott, he didn't know what it was. So you need to put it in there, right? You can change, I changed this under team to be what my job positions are. You can have yours say what you want it to, right? And that shows up here. Okay. That's one of the places it shows up. And it shows up down here. Okay. So you can kind of look at command and look at your website and see where different things show up and what you want them to say. We're independent contractors, right? We don't even have to use these websites. You're an independent contractor. If you don't want to use it and you want to pay someone else to use it to make one, you can't, right? You own your own business, right? All right. So slogan, you have to have one of these. This is just the one that I've always used. So that is the one that I have. Any designations, if you have an ABR, a GRI, Wendy Taylor Allison has 5 million of them, you can put those designations and credentials right there in that designations and credentials box. Okay. Military affiliation. I love this. You can pick active duty, reserves, veteran, military spouse. Once you pick which one of these affiliations you have, you get to pick your branch of service and a new box pops up. Okay. So if you have a military affiliation, put it in there because I think it's super awesome that they added it. That way the general public can see it and other agents from KW, if they are looking for a referral partner and they prefer someone with a military affiliation, they can search that way. Okay. It's where you can update your biography. Yay. It doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. A hard lesson in real estate, I had to learn it too. Never going to be perfect. Real estate is a messy animal. It just is. You're never going to know all the answers. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. I would rather it be done than be perfect. You can go back and edit it later. Right? I mean, mine's pretty simple and straight to the point. Born and raised in Winston, still living here, proud to call it home. Love my company. It's a great culture company, leaving a legacy for my children. Been in real estate in the area since 2008. And this is what I'm currently doing. That's it. Right? If you haven't been in real estate since 2008 and you don't want to be like, I'm brand new, don't put that there, right? Just make it something simple. Make it something simple. Just get something in there, okay? Phone number. If you're a provisional broker, you have to have the office phone. I am not, so I do not, right? If you are, you need to have the office phone number there until you are no longer provisional. Does that make sense? Make sure that I'm staying compliant here, okay? All right, so your email, your website, market center brokerage name, market center address, market center license number. If it's not there, please add it, right? If you don't know your market center number, you need to get it. Winston-Salem, I know because it's mine, C26344. That is your market center's brokerage license number, right? C26344. If you need to find out Chapel Hill, I'm sorry, I don't know what y'all's is. But if you need to find out what it is, you can always just go to Matrix, no matter what, or go to your MLS, because some of y'all don't use Matrix that might be watching this. If you ever forget it or something, number one, you could probably ask somebody on your leadership team. But number two, if you come to your MLS and look up any listing in your office and just open the MLS sheet, your firm's license number is on here somewhere. I'll find it. Gotta scan it. Probably down here.
So
Yeah,
again,
right
Scott's going to have that all plugged in, right?
He probably will not have your market center brokerage number there, no.
Okay, so I'll just kind of go through and look at
Because I
everything.
don't think on his form that that's a question, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't remember. Okay.
Okay. And then here's that compliance section. I just typed this in. Each office is independently owned and operated. I decided to add this. You don't have to, right? This is where I did that link to the Working with Real Estate Agents brochure. If you didn't know, you can always just say Working with Real Estate Agents in Google. And it takes you to Working with Real Estate Agents from ncrec.gov. It's just a PDF of the brochure. And that's the link right there. Okay. So that's how I did that. And I'm just doing this stuff to show you guys everything that you can do with your websites. You 100% don't have to do it. Those tiny pictures that I had showing up at the bottom, there's some vendors that I love. This is where I uploaded those legal footer images. This is where all of my social media profile links were when we looked at my website. And if you like Google Analytics and you have a Google Analytics account, you can drop that here. Okay. That's kind of a higher level of, we're not going to go there today, but we might go there soon, especially now that we have forced registration. This might make a little bit more sense now, but I haven't had time to explore it yet. So come back next month. I'll go in there and explore it and see what I can find out about it. Cool. Or maybe I'll just do a class again on websites. All right. So that's everything in our marketing profile. So that's what's powering a lot of the information on your website. Anybody have any questions about this? Okay. We're going to actually go to the website editing portion now. That is consumer, last app on the left. Okay. I'm going to come down here. By default, we are going to come to, sorry, I thought I'd turn this on do not disturb. Let me do that. it's going to take us to this specific page called Agent Site Pages. So what this is showing me right now is any web pages that I have built or put together on my agent website, and whether they are turned off or on. Teal is on, gray is off. Okay, not active, active, right? So I can delete from here. You guys will only have a handful of what Scott built you here, right? And guys, as your websites came from Scott, they are fine. Okay, people want to go search for houses. Can you come and add all this stuff? Yes, you can. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. And as they are fine. People want to search for houses and they will be able to do that. Okay. So don't feel like you have to do this today, right? It's not an urgent matter because people can already search on your website. Okay. But this is where you come by default, and you can see what your website address is up here. This is very important. So I'm going to say it twice. We do not use www in front of our websites. www is going away. It's not going to be on any websites eventually. It's getting phased out. Do not put www in front of your website. Don't do it on your business card. Don't do it on your signs. Don't do it in your email signature, because if you do, watch what happens. www.monicaperry.kw.com. Security issue. We don't use it. Okay. I had somebody print out 5,000 business cards with www on it. Please don't do that. Okay. Everybody good. I want confirmation because I don't want anybody to accidentally do it. Cool. All right. Awesome. So we're going to go through these other tabs here in just a minute. But the first thing I want you to do now that we're here is I want you to come over to Site and App Settings in the upper right corner. Site and App Settings. Okay. This is where most of our stuff is kind of handled for what is already existing on our websites. Okay.
One question.
Go ahead.
One question before you go too far from the last thing. The way that Scott Leroy made the website, there are no agent site pages, right?
There may not be, because see where this says learn more with Kelly guides. When we first got our agent websites, it just was like a wizard, and I don't want to hit it because then it's going to erase my stuff. But that was the first steps that you walked through to build your website. And that's what Scott's doing for you. So it just adds that handful of pages, and then anything additional, these other ways are the ways you add them.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So don't hit learn more with Kelly guides. Scott's already done that part for y'all. That's a great question. Okay. Ready? Good. Okay. So no, but there still should be three site pages, I think. About me, you should have these three, Linda. An about me. I don't remember what this was called by default, but this is one of those pages. And then you should have a download my app. You should have 3 by Scott building it.
Okay.
But we can take a look at it if we need.
Okay.
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 So agent site hero text. This says love where you live. Let me get rid of this other stuff. Here. This says love where you live. This is where you can edit what this says. Cool. This is where you can change out the photos that scroll through the background. You can have 5. Make sure you have the rights to those pictures. Don't get yourself in trouble for copyrights, right? They need to be at least 1200 by 1200 pixels, and you can upload up to 5. In order to do so, get your pictures together. You would delete the one that you wanted to replace. When they came out stock, they look fine, but there are a handful of them that look kind of California to me, and I didn't like that, so I changed them. But you can delete them. But there are other pictures in designs that you can go and get that are the correct size for this. You could use images of your listing with the permission of your sellers, of course. If you have a really beautiful listing that's very whatever your area is, maybe you want that to be one of the pictures. Or if you really want that visibility of your, Monica, can you type today? Sorry. Greta Fry Associates. That picture of your face. Check out what Greta's team did. They put their team up here, or it could just be you, or it could be you in front of a building, or it could be you in front of a house. They didn't pick 5. They took 1, so that anytime you go to their website, you see them, right? So you have the option to do this. And then for them, they chose to swap this out. So they put the KW Elite logo where the team logo was because it's smaller. And then they put their team logo where the KW Elite logo was because it was larger, right? So you can edit these out a little bit. That's why I wanted to show you that, okay? All right, and now here's that forced registration, which just came out right here. So you can choose unrestricted, which is where it is by default, because that used to be our only option. People could just go to your website and search and search and search. They never had to create an account. You can put it at 10, so they can look at 10 properties. Then it's going to ask them to register for an account. I have mine set to 2, or you can set it to no property viewing. So that person would be able to go to your website and say, okay, I just want to look around my current location. And as soon as they click to see one, it would make them register, right? That's what no, like that right there. Okay. Make sense? Any questions on that? Pretty self-explanatory once you kind of know what it is. So once you pick the one that you want, make sure you come to the lower left and click Save Changes. Okay. All right. So that's the General tab. We're under Site and App Settings and Consumer. Okay. This Download App Hero text, if someone goes to your app download page, which I'm going to show you guys in the second half of class, same thing. It changes what that says there. This virtual tour thing, you can upload virtual tours of your listings here, and our MLS, you have to remember that these websites encompass every MLS across the entire country, all which have different rules. Some MLSs across the country don't allow the agent to upload a virtual tour. That is why KW gave us this option. Our MLS does in Winston-Salem. I can't speak to Canopy. No. What do y'all use? Triangle MLS in Chapel Hill. I'm not sure if they let them upload virtual tours or not, but Triad MLS does. So if you upload it into your listing, it's going to show up on your website without you taking any further action. I just wanted to make it clear what this virtual tour button was for. Okay. Preferences. Keller Mortgage, that's our mortgage company. Keller Covered, that's our insurance company. Neighborhood boundaries, that is those neighborhoods that are powered by Nextdoor that we talked about on Monday when we were talking about the monthly neighborhood nurture. This is the ability to turn those on and off. Okay. That's the ability to turn those on and off. So let's look at what they look like. Let me log in as somebody so it won't try to force me to register. Okay. So the neighborhood boundaries are the blue lines that are going to show up in just a second. These blue lines are the boundaries of neighborhoods that were drawn around my home in the app Nextdoor So if I click into specific areas, like this is Robin Hood Trails, this is Old Sherwood Forest where I live, this is Sherwood Forest Road neighborhood, Merrimont, Country Club, right? All these different neighborhoods that are in next door. Okay, so you do have the ability to turn those off if you want. Okay, that's where you turn them off. The Keller Mortgage piece and the Keller Covered piece that you can turn off. If I click into a specific listing, down here it says Keller Mortgage. Get home with speed, precision, and personalized experience you deserve. Get started. It takes them to an affiliated business arrangement disclosure. They click continue. It takes them through the process of getting pre-approved through Keller Mortgage. Since it was done on your website, Keller Mortgage knows that you were the agent because they cannot use Keller Mortgage without a Keller Williams agent. Okay, so you have the ability to turn this on and off. And then Keller Covered, same thing. Home insurance through Keller Williams. If they click compare quotes, affiliated business arrangement disclosure, they would click continue. Whoever was on the receiving end of that with our insurance company would know that you were the agent because, again, can't use Keller Covered without a Keller Williams agent, right? So again, you could choose to turn that off or on if you want. So any questions on that piece? Good? Cool. Anything you change, make sure you click Save Changes at the bottom. Okay, so that's all under General. URLs is where you can do that. Go get your URL. Mine is monicaperry.kw.com, right? If I wanted to change this to winstonsaleemhomes.com.kw.com, if it's available, I can. So if you wanted to change it, theoretically, you could type something in, and as long as it's available and it would tell you if it was or not, you can have it, right? The other thing you can do is you can buy a website. So I'm just using Greta as an example. Greta owns GretaFry.com. So GretaFry.com, if you type it in, takes them to that website I was just showing you that's Greta's, which is actually GretaFryAndAssociates.kw.com, right? That's the actual website. The cover website is the one that she bought. So that's how that works. So you
I think
can
Wendy's is like that too, because when I
yes,
type in Windy City, it's still whichever way it comes up.
exactly. Exactly. Wendy
Okay.
does own a domain, which we've had a lot of fun with over the years with that domain. It was, she bought it like 20 or something years ago. It was crazy when all that happened. But this is your app URL. So this is going to be important to know too. So if you want to give someone the app, right, it looks just like our website. It's just truncated to the size of your phone and it's an app. Then that's the code that you give them. So let me go off camera with this tab real quick. You can take your app URL and if I write an email, it says to download my KW Home Search app, click this phone, click. All it is that link, right? You can put it all over whatever you want. You could give it a QR code. You could link it somewhere, put it in your text message signature, put it wherever. Just that's always your code. You know that is going to be the case. And it's right here. Okay. There's another way that you can share that out of your command app. And when we talk more about the app, I'll show you where that is. But I just wanted to know you to know what it is. Good. Questions on the URLs tab?
Monica, so the app URL,
Mhm.
yours, you had it showing up, the app, like download your app on your page.
I had it as my email. It was in my email signature.
Okay, can you add it somewhere on the page too?
On your website?
Yeah, yeah, on the website.
Yeah. There's a page you can add for download.
Okay.
Your app. I'll show you how to do it.
Okay.
Yep. Good question. Anybody else? URLs page? Good. Cool. Featured listings. Okay. If you don't have listings, that's okay. Ask before you do. Ask. So here's my featured listings. This is where they show up on my website. This one got sold, right? But if I come in here and I trash, let's see, that one's pending. So we'll go ahead and get rid of those. Let me grab some listings. If you don't have listings, go into your MLS, find some listings in the target area that you want to be known in, and then ask the listing agent if you can feature them on your website. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I know lots of the agents are going to say, of course you can, right? So let's see, I do not work in Mount Airy, but I do work in this area. So let's see who this is. I think this is Abby Umloff. I would call Abby and say, hey, Abby, can I feature 1803 Meadowbrook Drive on my website? Okay. And then I would change this. Right now it says only my listing. No, not even if they aren't a Keller Williams agent, Giselle. Great question. I personally would not. You are an independent contractor, so take that for what it's worth. I personally would only do it for a KW listing actually in my office, right? Because technically I work for that office and that listing is from that office. So I feel more comfortable about featuring the listing that way personally. But so I can add that one and say that I want, good question though, definitely. I want to go to, no. Grandview, yes. Who is this? Jeff Nicholson and Clarence Harris. Beautiful listing over in Pfafftown or Pofftown, which is how you really say it. I just like to say Pfafftown. I'm going to grab that one too. And I'm not going to be only my listings because it's not my listing. If you have your own listings, then you can just pick those, right? I'm going to select that and click done. I'm going to click save changes so that you guys can see it in action. Refresh my website. And you can have no featured listings at all. It just gives it a little extra something, right? So there you go. That's where they show up. Cool. Questions about featured listings? And you can change this to Monica's featured listings or, you know, Allison's or Wendy's or Linda's, whoever, right? You can make it say whatever you want. Good. Theme. You like red, you like black, right? I think this will have more pop inversions to come. They just went ahead and built it in where it's going to change more of like the feel and the aesthetic of our websites a little bit, but that's all that's under here. Okay. And last but not least, again, we are under site and app settings currently, is another tab called agent site pages, which I've complained about numerous times because I think it's confusing because this also is called agent site pages, but this one is a different one. So this is where once you have built a page that you add it to your website. So you can build as many pages as you want, see the one that you like, and then pick the one you're going to use and come here and add it, right? So this is the agent site pages tab under site and app settings, not to be confused with the original agent site pages, which is where you come in, that's showing you what's actually on your website. Okay. So any questions about that last tab? And you're going to see this come into play because we're going to actually add a page next. Everybody good? Cool. All right. So now I'm just going to click consumer. So you guys see when you click consumer, this is where you come to this agent site pages tab at the top. This is where you come by default. Okay. We are going to click create a new page. We have the option of adding a page to our agent site or building a standalone landing page, which we're going to look at next. Okay. But we're going to go with on my agent site and click create page. And then you get this fun little window here. We're going to call this July 22 boot camp. So I know what it is. Okay. Over here on the right, we have widgets. Right? You always have to have at least one widget on the page. So you have the team widget. If you're on a team, then you have this widget that says meet the team. Okay, I'm going to click this again and I'm going to click the trash can. I'm just showing you what they look like. You have the agent profile widget. I'm grabbing, I'm not letting go of my mouse, and I'm dropping. That's the one that looks like this. Okay, I'm going to click and delete it again. You've got the contact form. It looks like this. It says contact us. You've got testimonials carousel. So my testimonials page was the list. It's just a straight down list. The carousel shows one and scrolls, right? So that's the difference between the two. You've seen the list. It looks just like mine. You have the one called company profile. This is what that looks like originally. So Scott's it would say about whatever you put as your name, right? About Linda Plitt, whatever is on there. And then it would have just kind of some generic. So this is one of the ones he would have set up, right? But you could use this for something else, right? These are just kind of layouts that you can use for something. This is the testimonials capture form. You get rid of that. And last but certainly not least, here's that download my app. So Allison was asking about this because Wendy was here when we originally got these websites. I had to go around the office and help everybody set them up. And this wasn't an option back then. So she may not have that right now, but you can in fact add that page. Okay. You can put more than one widget on a page. So maybe I want the download my app page, and then I want this below it, right? A little about me section below my app download button. Then I can have multiple widgets on one page, but I always have to have at least one. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, to add that third party page that I was showing you guys, it takes a couple of extra steps. And like I said, it wasn't working last time, so I can't make any promises right now that it is working. But I'm going to show you guys for the purposes of the video how you would do it. Okay. It does take a little bit of steps. I'm just going to go with CP3 Basketball Academy, where my daughter plays basketball, because I know that they have a website. That I can pull up. Come on, light up. Okay. So here's their website. I'm going to copy it. I have to go to iframe-generator. If you just want to tune out, if you never were going to do this, that's okay. But if you want to know how to do it, I'm going to show you. So you got to go to iframe-generator.com. You're going to give it a name so you know what it is. I do 100, so it'll scale to different formats. And then I do 100 here, and I change this to percentage. I don't have to touch anything else. And then I need to paste that website there that I got. That's the only changes I make. And I hit generate code. And then I copy the code. So that's it. I come back to command. Like I said, you have to have at least one widget. So maybe that's a contact form. And then I drag a content block like a text box and I paste that code in the box. And this used to work. I don't know if it's going to work now, but I do want you guys to watch this step. So no matter what page you built, okay, at this point, when it says, would you like to continue to site and app settings to publish your page, you're going to click yes. And it's going to take you where? Under site and app settings to that agent site pages tab. We're going to add page, pick the page that you just created and click continue. Then you need to give it a name and a slug, which has no spaces, and then save it. And that will add that page to your website. So let me see if it did it. I don't know if this is working this month or not, but we're going to find out. No, it's not working. But no matter, that is how you add them. And say it didn't work, so I want to delete it, then I can click the 3 dots and I can delete the page. Okay. So I wanted to check and see if it was working or not. But nonetheless, let's add a page that you guys actually might want to add, like your testimonials capture page. Okay. So we are going to click create new page on my agent site, click create page, give it a name in the upper left corner so you know what it is. BootCamp. I'm just going to call this testimonials capture page. I'm going to grab this testimonial capture form and let it go. This is very important. I know why that last one might not have worked, but I'll look at it in a minute. We're going to configure widgets. Always configure widgets. And the one that I need to configure is the only one on the page. So I'm going to use Windy Stuff as an example because I know it already. So Windy City Real Estate. Okay. Headline text. Leave us a review. How did we do? Whatever you want it to say, right? Description. Thank you for being a valued client. You saw on mine, I edited this information because I'm not reaching out to my clients. I'm reaching out to you guys as my agents, right? If you're fine with what this says, you don't need to touch it. Just leave it, right? It's valued client. Help me continue to provide the best service, blah, 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 blah. Review headline. Again, if you're fine with it, leave it. How would you rate your experience? You can just leave it there. You can see what it looks like over here on the left, right? And the review placeholder is going to be in this box. It's just prompts. How was your experience? How did they help you through each stage of the process, etc. Okay. So again, if you don't want to change any of it, you don't have to. You're going to click save and apply. And then you're going to see it where I put leave us a review right there. That's all I changed, right? Okay. And you can see that it says Windy City Real Estate because I put that as the team name. It says it here too. Okay. So that's all I did. Now watch what happens. I'm going to click Save Changes. It's going to say, would you like to continue to your site and app settings to publish your page? I'm going to say yes. It brought me back under site and app settings to that second page called Agent Site Pages, right? I built the page. Now I need to add the page. I'm going to go to the left, click Add Page. Here's the one I just made, July 2022 Bootcamp Testimonials Capture. That's the one I want to add to my website. I'm going to give it a name, leave us a review. I'm going to give it a slug. This unique URL slug for this page, no spaces or special characters. So it's going to be monicaperry.kw.com / what do you want it to say, right? Review us, testimonials, leave us a review, whatever you want it to say. I could even do review -us, right? And then you can see what it would look like down here at the bottom. Okay. I can give it some SEO description. People always ask what I put. Nothing fancy. I usually put my name, Keller Williams, Realty, Elite, Winston-Salem, real estate, reviews, you know, just some words that match what my page is. That's all I do. Then I click save. Now that I did that, it showed up down here at the bottom. If I go back to my website, wherever I have it open, I must have placed it. Okay. There it is. Leave us a review. So now it shows up on my website. Okay. So that's all you do to add, to make a page with a widget, right? That's it. So like I said, the way they are as they came are fine. But if you do end up getting testimonials and you want to start adding them there, you can add those pages. You can use other pages that already exist to add different kinds of content if you want to. It's up to you. Okay, but that's where you would do it. Now, I want to show you guys really quickly a couple of other things in here. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and explore the site from the view of the consumer. Then we're going to look at the app. Does anybody have any questions before we leave adding agent site pages? Okay. I know it's like a lot to take in. I just want to touch on landing pages real quick. These are single standalone pages. They work the same way. You pull the widgets over, right? It's the same thing, but I'm going to show you what they look like. And one, examples that I use. One example I use for these landing pages, you can build just a single listing page to share it on Facebook, right? Here's my new listing at 123 Main Street. Yay, right? And you can share the link. So you can add all these widgets to it. But one thing I like to do with mine is put the contact block at the top. And I don't have my tablet. Take my tablet with me to an open house. And that's my sign in. Instead of having a piece of paper, they sign in with this, right? When they sign into this, it creates a contacting command for them right then, because it's essentially a lead capture form, right? So I'm like, hey, here, please sign in. And once you've signed in, please feel free to take a look at the information about the property. We're still kind of in a COVID-y environment. As soon as they're finished doing it, you can wipe it down with a Clorox wipe. It's clean for the next person instead of having a whole home paper, right? So just one example of stuff that you can do with your landing pages. But I've seen people do all kinds of crazy stuff with these if it's something that you want to do. If it's not, you don't have to use them, right? So we're going to look at it real quick. This time we're going to click create landing page or create new page as a landing page and then create page. A lot of people also use these for their Facebook ads, and we'll look at those tomorrow. Okay, but same thing, just different widgets. So for the landing page, I like the widgets actually better. You have this little agent branding. It looks like this. You have the branded header, which is one of my favorites. I like how clean that looks at the top of stuff. You have that lead form that you just saw. You have the legal footer that looks like that. We saw that on my website earlier. Okay. You have the listing widget, which shows them pictures, tells them about the property. All that stuff's populating from the MLS, right? You have a market snapshot widget. What's happening in this neighborhood and or this zip code. Okay. Local expert looks like this. I also like this one. You could put a video in there if you wanted to. You can do a testimonials capture form again if you wanted to. And you have the download my app widget. Okay. And same thing with these, you have content blocks and a text block. So, I mean, you can build all kinds of them, right? This one's just a Buena Vista neighborhood snapshot with a lead capture form. That's all I put on there. And then I could take this and put it on Facebook and say, hey, check out what's happening in Buena Vista. And they can click on it. Right. So you can use them for all kinds of different stuff. I don't want to spend a terribly long amount of time there because we have a lot of other stuff to cover. But does anybody have any questions about this landing pages? Good. Cool. Guide builder. Go to my website real quick. Let's get rid of this, get rid of this, and go here. Okay. When you come to my website, oh my goodness, my allergies are cranking today. When you come to my website, you can see the guide up here at the top. Okay. This guide has a guide for buying and selling. Right. So one thing that I've always heard agents say is, well, I have to answer the phone at 11 o'clock at night. My people need me. They need me. No, they don't. They need information. Right. And if they start thinking about 11 o'clock at night and they know you're going to answer the phone, they're going to call you to get it. Right. You got to set that boundary. I was guilty of it myself, so I get it. This is another way that you can give them information. Right. Because a lot of times it's what's next. Okay, we went under contract today. Now what's going to happen? Right. Well, you have these guides here and they can see they're going to get pre-approved. I edited this because these were my favorite local lenders. Or they could use Keller Mortgage. When they start their search, this is what they're going to be doing. These are pre-built, but what they weren't is specified to our state. What's a huge thing in North Carolina? Due diligence, period. They don't have that in every state. So what I did is I went through and edited this. Tour homes, I don't really think I changed a whole lot here. I added keep track of photos and notes because that's always what I used to get my people to do. I took a legal pad with me and drew a line down the center and said, write your pros and cons on each side. And we did it for each house that we looked at. And I said, take pictures of stuff that you like and that you don't like so you can reference it back later. And then I would tear the sheets off and give it to them. So I just added little nuances like that, right? To mine. Making an offer. Again, I added stuff about due diligence because it didn't say anything about due diligence, and that's a big deal here. Okay. Same with executing a contract. This step was called home inspection. But we all know in North Carolina, it's not just a home inspection, it's the due diligence period. And they're going to get a home inspection, a pest inspection, a radon inspection, a well water inspection if it's got a well, a septic inspection if it's got a septic, like all these things. So I wanted to make sure that I covered all of that. So I edited mine to include that stuff. Okay. And because I love you all, and I don't want you to have to do all that editing, I gave you my guides so you can just copy them. Now, I want to show you how you edit them, right? It took me time to write it all out. What I did was copied everything they had there and dropped it in this Google Drive. Then I went through and read what they had and edited what I needed to edit. And I tried to take notes on everything I was doing so that you guys could see it. Okay. So like, for example, they had stuff in an order that didn't make sense to me. I didn't put people in my car unless they were pre-approved and had a pre-approval letter. That was just one of my rules. So for them to start searching for homes before they had a pre-approval letter wasn't going to work for me. So I moved it because you can move the cards around. Okay. And then their pre-approval letter only had Keller Mortgage, right? So I added a step before that. And so I told you I added this step to my guide. I made it called Get Pre-Approved. Okay. When we're ready to start looking at homes, it's best to consult with a lender. I'm happy to recommend trusted professionals that can do this for you. And then I added my local lenders. Okay. And then I said, or you can click the next step and get great savings with Keller Mortgage. So I kept the Keller Mortgage step. I just put my local lenders before Keller Mortgage so that they had the choice. Okay. So I tried to give you guys notes on everything I was doing. But you have both of my guides, the buyer and the seller. They're right here. Like I tried to make everything red when I like really changed something. Okay. So under guide builder, under buying, and I'll show you guys why I did this on a Google Doc because, okay. So here you go. I added the get pre-approved step. Where's there? Add a step. So I clicked add a step. I gave it a title. I gave it a subtitle. And then I put a picture there, right? That's how I created the step. So say it was due diligence. In North Carolina, due diligence, blah, 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 blah. And then I gave it a picture. I'm just dropping something there, right? And then I clicked continue. So that's how I created my custom step. Now, when I popped it out, I had my subtitle. This workspace is that longer amount of text that you see. I cannot type all that in that tiny little box. That's why I did it in that Google Doc. And then I just highlighted it all and pasted it into the workspace. So I tried to label everything I was doing. This is the title. This is the subtitle. This is the workspace text, right? So I tried to title it that way. But they're on this sheet for you guys, which of course is in the chat. I'm dropping it in there now. And in the YouTube description box and on your resources website, there's a link right below where the recordings are that have all of the Command Bootcamp resources. Okay. So that guide shows up both in the app and on your agent website. And the cool thing is when they're logged in, okay, when they're logged into your website and they're like, okay, well, I did get pre-approved, they can actually mark the step as complete, right? They can mark them as complete as they're going through and say, okay, I'm starting my search now. I did that. Done. It's checking it off for them. It'll do the same for them in the app. So they can always see what's next, right? It doesn't mean they won't ask you questions. It's just another way that you're giving them information because that's what people tell us that they want. Read the National Association of Realtors Generational Trends Report. The biggest complaint people have is a lack of communication from their real estate agent. So the more ways, and just like with you guys, I try to give you video and written instruction and one-on-one instruction because people learn differently. It's the same thing with your clients, right? Some people might not want to ask you questions. They might just want to read about it, right? So this gives them that option. Okay. So that stuff is
Hey,
there.
Monica,
Go ahead, Gabby.
are there any plans to do more of a interactive portal for your clients where this is great, but going back to communication and all of the calls that you get, where they would have like a client portal that they would sign into and see a list of things that they still need to complete, or their process, things like that.
I have not specifically heard that is on the roadmap, and it doesn't mean that Keller Williams Realty International is not working on something like that. They have a huge development team. This was a multi-million-dollar project, this whole system. And essentially what they've done is built a platform that we own, that we can essentially do whatever we want with it with time, right? So I'm sure that we are not the only people that have ever thought that. But I do promise you, as soon as I know anything, I'll always let you guys know, within reason, because I am a labs advisor. I did have to sign a do not disclose thing. So I can't tell you guys everything that's coming up, but you're not the first person that's asked that question.
Okay.
So I
Thanks.
would not say that it's not going to happen. Okay. First steps, right? Remember, first iteration of website, this the first one, first version. We're still in version 1. Okay. All right.
Monica,
Yeah.
so in Command, I can go to the guide builder and both of those, the buyer and the seller is there. But on the actual website, it's not showing up at the top. Like,
Are you logged in? You to see the guide, they
that would
have to
help.
be, yeah. So that was the next thing I was going to tell you guys
Okay.
is make sure that you create yourself an account as a consumer,
Okay.
right? So Dakota, you guys have all met Dakota. I usually work out of his, right? He's my consumer and I log in and I interact with the website as Dakota so that I can see what a consumer would see. So that's the most important thing to me for you guys to do, because if somebody calls you and says, what's this button? And you're like, I don't know. But see, once I've logged in as him, then I can see his guide. Okay.
Gotcha.
Does that
Thank you.
make sense? So make sure that you create yourself, your husband, your cousin, your brother, your sister, your mother, your kids, whoever. Like my children, my mom, my brother all have logins to my website because I want them to play with it and do stuff. And like even my son, he's 17. I've told him and his sister they both need to go ahead and get licensed when they're in college because you're in a better learning headspace, I think, when you're that age. I was like, just get it out of the way so that, and then never let it go. Even if you don't ever do anything with it, you can get referrals and it's done. So he's, as he's getting a little bit older, is getting more interested in stuff. And when we were in Georgia, we were like, good God, look at all these houses, because it was just a lot of nice houses. And he was like, I wonder how much all these houses cost. And I was like, I wonder if there was some way that you could find out how much these houses cost. And he was like, oh yeah. And then he like pulled out his phone and pulled up the KW app and started searching for what was around him and like looking at the inside pictures. And, he was like, this is cool that you can do this. Like, put it in people's hands, right? KW1, Greensboro, Jeff and I'm brain farting. What's wrong with me? I know his name, Jeff and Jason. Yes, Jeff and Jason, husbands, real estate agents. Jason was first. And the only reason that Jason decided to get his real estate license was because he loved looking at houses. He just did it for fun. He went online and he looked at houses all the time. And then something sparked with his career or something was going on with where he was working. And he was like, well, why don't I love looking at houses. Why don't I turn it into a career? And now they're getting featured in a magazine. Check it out on Facebook. It's really cool, right? So put it in other people's hands. That's your first step. Just start giving it to people, logging them in. And like I said, now we have forced registration, which is great. But when you're like, hey, my friend that I ran into from high school in the grocery store, can I go ahead and create an account for you, right? All you're going to do is get permission first, always. You're going to go to your own website and click sign up. You're going to type in your friend's name, their email address. I use their cell phone number with no dashes as their password. I accept the terms of use and click sign up. That way I don't have to worry that they remembered to do it or not. Then I'm like, this is my website. This is my app link. Your login is your email address and your cell phone number. Once you're in there, if you want to change your password, feel free to do so. But that way I know that they have an account. And that way I can tell them, right? We're trying to give value. When you're looking on my website, as opposed to something that rhymes with pillow, nobody else is going to know what you're doing, what you're looking at. No one's going to be calling you, contacting you, because we all know what happens when you go to something that rhymes with pillow. As soon as you click on something, it's like, your phone starts ringing and people start calling you and your email blows up. And, you can say you don't have to do that. Feel free to look at as many houses as you would like. Here you go. Here's your login. Right? Cool. Cool deal. Okay. So we covered guides. We're going to go in and start looking from the consumer perspective, and then we're going to take a quick break because I need to fill up my water. And then we're going to look at the app, and then we'll be done. Okay. So like I said, go to your own website, create an account for yourself, play around with it, right? I'm going to log in as me. I have a login. Okay. So once I get in here, you can see I have a for sale sign. I have a for rent tab, right? They can click in the box. They can click current location. They can see your featured listings down here. We talked about setting up saved searches for them from their contact card, right? Now, one thing I can't remember if I told you or not, when you're setting up a saved search for them, they have to have a login to see the saved search. Okay. So if they come up to their saved, they can see all of the saved searches. That's how they get them. Okay. They can make collections. They can look at specific neighborhoods that they're following, right? That's where all that stuff comes into play. So we looked at setting them up a saved search, right? So this one was saved on May 25th by the person. This one was set up on May 25th by the agent. My agent set this search up for me. I set this search up for myself. So they can see a list of all of those, right? So I showed you guys how we set them up for them, but let's look at how they can set them up. So from their perspective, they can target where they are, or they can search for a specific location, and that's anywhere in the whole country, right? So if your friend is here in North Carolina and they need to move to California, that's okay. They can look at houses in California on just your website. And then when they're getting ready to move, you can connect them to a wonderful agent that's in the area that they're interested in, right? So they can search for anywhere. I'm just going to leave it at my current location. They have this draw tool up here. They have a view. They can change it to satellite if they would like. And I usually prefer to be in satellite view. They can turn neighborhoods on and off themselves. They can draw on the map here, like so, in a specific area, right? They might go, ooh, there's only one house for sale in there. That's not enough. So they can clear it. So it's important that you go in here and kind of look at what they can do. So if they ask you a question, then you know the answer, right? So just keep that in mind. We're going to dive deeper into this tomorrow, but this search functionality is also a great thing for you to use to make Facebook posts and ads. Okay, I'm going to show you an example. I am a pool rat. I have a pool. I'll refuse to live anywhere that I would not have a pool because I love my pool. Okay, so say that I wanted to run a Facebook post for Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Boop. There's my search. It's going to outline Winston-Salem. And those are all the listings in Winston-Salem in my map view right there. Okay. And come over here. We're on for sale, not for rent. I could adjust the price. I could change the property type, houses, apartments, townhomes, condos, etc., beds and baths, or I can click the more button. Okay. So I can come all the way down here and say it has a pool. Now, the one thing about the pool button is even if it's got a neighborhood pool, it still shows up in the search, but that's okay. The whole point of what you're posting on social media is to get somebody to stop scrolling and click what you're doing, right? So here we go. This is a list of Winston-Salem homes with a pool that are currently for sale. That's what this search is. So I can copy this search. I can make myself a beautiful image, and I can go to Facebook and go to my business page, or your person. I guess you could also do your personal page. But I'm going to go to my business page, which is that one. And I'm going to post as my business page. So I need to switch. Can't say that I'm a super huge fan of what Facebook did with that update there, but you know, it is what it is. And I can say, check out these homes with pools in Winston-Salem. Yay, I'm not actually going to post this. I have a picture somewhere in my downloads. A lot of pictures in my downloads, but I know I specifically have one that I really like right there. Winston-Salem homes or pools. Here's the link. Click here to see Winston-Salem homes with pools. Done. Post. There's a cute dog sitting on the diving board. My dog sits on the diving board. That's why I like that picture so much. But if you post it, I'm just going to take it back down. Oh shoot, Giselle, I'm sorry, I didn't see your thing in there. Yes, ask, or wait, ask who? When did she post that? 11/23. No, you just did. You do not have to ask anybody to post this, because that is just a generalized search. It's not a specific listing, but that's a great question. Sorry, I thought maybe you'd asked me that earlier. Yeah, it's not a specific listing. It's just a list of listings, and you're allowed to do that because you're a real estate agent, right? So check out these homes with pools in Winston-Salem. Okay, and they can click on it. It's going to take them directly to your website, where they will in fact see homes in Winston-Salem that have a pool. And what's going to happen when you have the forced registration, they're going to be able to click through however many you said they could, and then it's going to make them register, and you're going to capture that lead. And when it comes into command, it's going to look like a new contact came in, a new site registration was received. It's going to come in as a lead. It's going to create that person a contact in command. It's going to tag them as a lead. You're going to start being able to reach out to them, right? And look what's happening. Every time that they start searching, I know when they're logging in and all that kind of fun stuff, right? So if someone says, yeah, I do want to buy a house, but it's probably going to be 6 months. But then in 3, you give them all your stuff and they're looking on your website, and you see them look sporadically throughout the week. And then about 3 months from now, you see them looking at about 30 properties a day. That might be a reason to stop and call them. Hey, I've seen your search increase a lot. We getting ready? We ready to talk to a lender? We ready to take next steps, right? It's a reason to start talking to them. Cool.
Hey, Monica.
Yeah.
Are you going to have your video on your site? I just ran to the restroom and I totally missed like the last few minutes.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Every afternoon I put the videos up. And so if you go to kwtriadtech.com,
okay,
on the left-hand side of the screen,
perfect.
There's a link to July bootcamp videos right here, and all the sources that we were talking about.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Okay, cool deal. So we're going to talk more about the stuff that you can use this for tomorrow when we're doing campaigns. But come in here, play around, look at stuff, look at the feed, right? This is Save Search Update. So when they have Save Searches set up by themselves or you, they can look at what's new, what just came out, what's having an open house this weekend in different places that they've been searching, what price change happened. People love to see the amount of the price change, right? Because we all know those tricksters They lower the price. Oh my gosh, I want that seat right there. They lower the price by $100 to make it go up in the search engines. You can't get away with that on here. This just got lowered by $45,000. If Monica was just rich, I would have this. But 25 grand on 450, that's a significant reduction, right? So they can actually see the amount of the reduction, which is nice. But they can also see status changes. They have the collection updates, so you can set up collections for them. Neighborhood Pulse just came out like 2 weeks ago. So you get the market statistics and recent updates in specific areas that they're following, right? So those are just 3 neighborhoods that this person decided to follow, so they get to see kind of what's happening in that specific neighborhood and compare it to others. So there's quite a bit that they can do on here, right? There's a mortgage calculator. But that's why I want you guys to go through and play around with it. You know, it's important. Another cool thing, they can search by landmark. Maybe they like to go watch the Winston-Salem Dash, play baseball, and they like to have a few beers, so they want to be within walking distance or cheaper Uber distance. They can look up the ballpark, right? There's no listings right around it, but if they start scrolling out a little bit, I bet some are going to pop up. Oh man. There we go. I was like, I know there's a listing around that ballpark. There's usually something closer. But there you go. West End, pretty close still. So they can search by landmark. It could be their office. It could be a school. It could be their church, whatever, right? That they want to be close to. They can search that way. And the neighborhood pages, I love these. Let me pull up the West End because I like the old West End. Each neighborhood that's established in next door has its own little page. You can post these on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere else too. I love these. It's like 7 websites in one for these little neighborhood pages, right? It shows the boundaries of the neighborhood, shows what's for sale in there, what the locals are saying, what the walkability score is. That goes a little bit up when you get closer to downtown. Here, average days on market, average home price, how many have recently sold, right? What's currently for sale, trendy eats, yoga culture, hops and brews, healthy food, wine lover, right? I have 3 locations saved in my consumer site. They can save 3 and see the distance. It's 10 minutes from this, it's 10 minutes from here, and it's 1 hour and 8 minutes from my brother, right? Nearby schools. I went there to St. Leo's. I also went there to RJ Reynolds High School. And so are my children, right? So they get to see what the schools are, and they get Yelp, which I love. So they can see all of the restaurants and bars and gyms and grocery stores and all that kind of stuff that is around them if they live there. Nearby neighborhoods. So you could definitely post these little neighborhood pages as well. And people seem to really like those too. Cool. So get in here and play around with all the different stuff you can do. All right, we're going to take a 3-minute break. I'm going to go fill up my water. We're going to come back. I'm going to share my phone. I need to close a bunch of stuff down so that it doesn't bog down my internet. And I'll see you guys back in 3. All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at the app. It is very similar to the website view, but I just wanted you guys to get a look at it in the phone. So we have two apps at KW. The command app is our app as the agent, right? Red background, white KW. The white background, red KW is our consumers app. You should download both. You should also be logged in on your phone under your account so you can interact. We'll let this load up and let you guys see what it looks like. They can do all the same things. They can search by their location. They have their feed. Okay. Oh, I'm not logged in. Let me log in. Dakota James Perry at gmail.com. I wonder what this little dog thinks sometimes as he sleeps in here in that hears his name 5 million times. All right, so same thing. They can change the view to satellite view. Sometimes I have to double click on my phone. There we go. And they can move their map around. They can click into a listing. They can see how much it is. They've got the Keller mortgage. They got the Keller covered. See all the details, right? If they're logged in, another value add, they can ask you a question and submit that to you. They can ask to, they're going to change the verbiage on this. They've updated it on the website to say request a tour. And this is coming right behind it to say request a tour instead of schedule. Schedule video tour came out during COVID and they haven't updated the verbiage yet. So they really need to do that. But nonetheless, it all looks very similar to what they see online. They can heart it. They can add it to their favorites list. They can set up several different collections. Maybe, you know, they might want to live in Clemens or they might want to live in Winston and they're just not sure. They can look at a list view of the houses instead of the map view, right? Favorite them right from there. Save it. So they can do all the same stuff in here that they can do on the other thing. They can come in here and add co-buyers. Okay. And it even tells them what a co-buyer can do. Make it collaborative by adding your co-buyer. This will enable them to have discussions, create collections, and share insights and guides with you. So you can invite a co-buyer. They have the Keller covered, Keller mortgage, Keller offers is back here, right? This is like offer pad. It's a get a cash offer on your home system. If it's something you're interested in doing, I have all of that linked on my resources website for you guys. It does take some classes in order to get Keller offers certified. So you may want to check that out, or maybe you don't. It's up to you. Affordability calculator, right? What's my annual household income? Maybe it's 150. Is my math right there? Yeah. And maybe my monthly debt is minus a mortgage, $2,000. Then the recommended price I could afford would be $509, right? So it's got a little affordability calculator back there. We can up and down payments, credit scores. My credit score is better than that. Thank you. And then that can affect how much you can afford, right? So you got that little thing back there. They can get to the guide, right? What they're doing. They can click in. This is what it looks like from mobile view. Mark step is completed if they want, right? They can see their list of saved stuff. And then they have under more where they can share your app with other people. which is cool. Right? So kind of all the same stuff, but I do recommend that you go through. They have Neighborhood Pulse on here too, on the app. Definitely download the app, log in, create yourself an account as a consumer, play around in there. So if you get asked a question, you know how to answer it. Right? I always recommend that you guys do that. But any questions on the app? None? Cool. All right. Last thing I'm going to show you is a cool way to share your app, which is a recent upgrade in our Command Mobile. Is now, if you had Command Mobile before, you will notice that the icons are kind of in different places now. We now have this little hamburger menu in the lower right corner. That is actually what those are called. If you didn't know, now you do. You can share your KW link. It's that same link, right? And I'm just going to write a message. I can send it to whoever, and it would say, just going to text it to them. It would just say, hey, this is Monica Perry. I think it messed up because I kept typing, trying not to show anything that I shouldn't be showing on my phone. But you guys get the point. It would send your app link. I guess I need to get like a fake phone that doesn't have anybody's real stuff on it. But you can share it right there. And it says, hi, this is Monica Perry. Here's a link to download my KW app for a personalized experience. Of course, we're all going to be good agents. We will have already created them an account, and we can say, here's that app link, and your login is your email address and your cell phone number, right? That way we don't have to worry about it. Cool deal? All right. Let's see what we have covered and what we haven't. We went over forced registration, adding pages, editing consumer guides. I want to go back to editing pages for 1 second in a minute. We explored from the consumer's perspective. We talked about using stuff from your website for posts. We'll look at that more tomorrow. We created landing pages. We talked about sharing your consumer app, both from the app and your email signature. All right, so we covered all of that stuff, which is good. Let's go back to command. Since you guys did have your stuff or are in the process of having your stuff set up by Scott Leroy Marketing, did you ever get to check, Wenda, if your 3 pages are showing up down here? Because you should have 3 pages showing up. And I wanted to show you guys. Oh, it's probably back one. Like your about page should be there. So you should be able to come into the 3 dots to the right and click edit. So if that generic biography is there that Scott set up for you, you're going to want to click configure widgets, agent profile, and then down here, you're going to want to paste whatever your biography is into that box and save it. If originally you had like your Gmail account and you changed it to using your KW, you're going to want to change that here too. And then you're going to save and apply. And that should update the page on your website. Okay. I'm going to click publish and click yes, and then it updated it for you. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew where to go to edit the first 3 existing pages. That's how you're going to go and edit them if you need to.
Hey, Monica.
Yeah.
Once he gets me set up, will he include an email of things that you just touched on?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so let me hold on. I'm going to stop recording.
Okay. And what time is it tomorrow?
So it's 10 to 12 again, and I'm having to do Fridays directly after. So we'll take like a 5-minute break, but Fridays is short because it's just tasks and reports. Like it's not as much content. So
Okay.
Friday's content is usually just showing you guys a few things and then answering your questions. So we're going to just do them back to back.
So do you think it would be like a 10 to 2, 10 to 1?
I would say 10 to 1.
Okay. Because I'm heading out of town tomorrow, so I just wanted to make sure they plan after. Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, honey. You're absolutely welcome. All right. So we looked at editing pages. We've looked at all the different ins and outs. We have 13 minutes for you guys to ask questions. So you can ask it about any of this stuff. You can ask it about whatever you want. Or you can have back now 12 minutes of your life. It's totally up to you.
I do have a question about adding the app, like
The app page?
to the website, to the agent page.
Yeah.
So how would we do that?
You would just click create new page
Uh-huh.
on my agent site,
Okay.
create page. You would pick the one that says download my app and drag it over.
Oh, well, there we go.
And then if you wanted to have something else on there, you could. And then you
Okay.
click configure widgets. If you want to change any of this text, you can.
Okay.
It's already got the app code in it. You click save and apply. Always configure widgets, always click on it, even if you're not going to change anything, and always click save and apply just in case. I'm going to click download my app as the title and click save changes. It's going to ask if I want to publish. I'm going to say yes. Okay. It took me to that agent site pages under site and app settings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to click add page. Here's the download my app page. That's the one I want. I'm going to click continue. I'm going to name it download my app, download Wendy's app, whatever you want it to be called.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Give it a slug. Download dash my, no spaces in a slug. Monica can't type. You can give it some SEO if you want. You're going to click save. Now, if I go back to my website, there it is.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. And if you ever, like, I can delete the other one, boop, click to confirm. Right, so you can delete pages and stuff like that too. What else, guys? Oh, I know what I want to show you. Download my app page, what it does, right? So if they click download app, it takes them here. And I'll show you guys this real quick so you know that it's there, because I like this little video for our consumers. It looks like this. It's got your picture, okay? They can download it on Apple or Google Play, and it's got this cool little commercial. So I'm going to show it to you because I think it's fun. When I first saw this, if you guys are not going to Mega Camp this year, try to make sure you get to go next year or to family reunion in February, because it's really a cool experience and I love it very much. I don't get to go this year, but I'm doing it digitally. But when I first saw this, like in the thousands of people room, and they have like 10 screens across the room, it's like, it was crazy. So I'm gonna show it to you. So I think that's just a cool little video that shows people what they can do with it. Mostly they're just going to search for houses on it, but it's okay. It's still fun. I like it. All right. So what else? Any other questions? 7 minutes left. Nothing. Trying to think of anything else I can show you guys that we didn't look at today. We covered all of it. Oh, well, we didn't really look at collections, so I'm still kind of like, I don't know with collections, but you can create a collection. You can pick a location. I'm just going to pick 27104. You could draw if you wanted to. You could say like 3 to 5 bedroom with 2 to 3 bathroom. Something like that. I would say 300,000 to about 350. And apply filters. Nothing. Maybe I need to change it to 400,000. 450,000. See, you're not even working today. I have yet to figure out if I really like this collection thing yet. Some agents have really decided that they love it. So we'll see. There we go. So I'm searching by zip code. So these are 5 listings that match maybe what this person's looking for. So you could select all of these and click create collection. I'm just going to say 27104, 3 plus 2 plus whatever. Okay. Create collection. And then I could send this to a specific contact, right? It would assign it to them in their app so that they could see that set of listings. And I'm like, well, we can already kind of do that. But I'm sure that there's going to be much more logic behind this. And I'm not selling either. Some agent feedback that I've heard from some labs advisors is that they use this to set up a list of showings. So then that person has the collection of every house they're going to go see that day in their app in their hand. So I can kind of see it from that perspective. But I'm sure that more is going to come of this collections thing as we progress. All right. Well, if y'all don't have any more questions, we're going to go ahead and shut it down. Going once, going twice.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Y'all have a great day. See you back
Thank you.
tomorrow. Designs, campaigns, and then second half, you guys are welcome to stay for that too.
Say hey.
Wendy Taylor! Hey, Wendy.
I'm parachuting in.
She's running around crazy with no shoes on, of course.
Stop that now.
All right.
See you, Monica. Thanks.
Bye, you guys. Thank you.